Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to comment down below who you guys want to see next. And please guys subscribe. It's always good to watch these videos for dreadlock inspiration to keep you going on your journey. But right off the bat guys, one thing I always notice when looking at YBN Nahmir, and even as his hair is growing now, I think just the way that his dreadlocks look make him look a little bit like Wiz Khalifa. Now of course he doesn't look exactly like him because I already know I'm going to get beat up in the comment section about that. But the direction I'm going at with this is that if you emulate someone's dreadlocks, or if you take the same steps in order to get them, they will look really similar. Now of course YBN Nahmir didn't do the exact steps, but he did create his dreadlocks in a similar way. Now the reason of me saying this is because a lot of you out there have dreadlock inspirations and say YBN Nahmir is one of yours, or say you really like Polo G's dreadlocks, or so on and so forth. The cool thing about it is if you have a similar hair type to them and you do the same method and the same maintenance that they're doing, your dreadlocks are going to turn out pretty similar. So let's talk about how YBN Nahmir got his dreadlocks briefly. Of course I did a video on him already, so you guys can go check out that video as well, but this is more of an update and kind of the process in which he's going in order to maintain them. So let's go ahead and establish his hair type. I wanted to look at a photo of him before the dreadlocks, and this one is perfect. His hair type is most likely a 4A or a 4B. This is really a prime hair type for getting dreadlocks, so for everyone out there who has this hair type, which is just simply a tighter curl. And I know you're looking at his hair right now and it's actually combed through or picked out, whatever you want to call it. And that's why it appears kind of straight. And the reason I mention that is because I've had quite a few people approach me that have a 4 range hair type and say, can I get dreadlocks? And in my head, I'm thinking, of course you can. But to their understanding, they're not sure if frizzy hair or quote unquote straight hair, of course this isn't straight hair, but that's what they thought it was, if it can get dreadlocks. And believe it or not, it's actually the best hair type for dreadlocks. And I know you've heard me say this over and over again, but there's so many new viewers every week. And that is that the 4 range hair type is the most suitable hair type for getting dreadlocks. And as the hair types get lower, when you get down to the 3s and the 2s, and then into the 1 hair type, which is straight hair, it becomes a little bit more challenging to actually get the dreadlocks. But of course, there are other methods that I've mentioned that actually help promote getting dreadlocks with any hair type. And there is more information on that on greatlocks.com, so you can make sure to click the link down below and check all that out. But with YBN Nahmir having a 4 range hair type allows him to do the traditional route of getting dreadlocks, which is twisting with gel. Now I don't believe he maintains his dreadlocks very frequently, and the reason I'm saying that is because you can see the texture on his dreadlocks, especially in this photo. And texture on a dreadlock just simply comes from your actual hair type revealing itself through the dreadlock. So say for instance, if you're following my journey on my main channel, Gunther the Great, you're able to see all of my texture on my dreadlocks that I have right now. And that's because I'm going a traditional route with using twisting with gel. And with slowing down the process by doing the twisting with gel method, it allows the hair texture to actually come through and translate into the dreadlock. So you're able to see the curls within the dreadlock. And we're seeing that here with YBN Nahmir. So if you're ever wondering why that happens, it's just simply the hair being curly and it eventually locking up in that position. Because let's face it, dreadlocks are essentially sections of hair that are held in a position for such a long time to where they eventually will lock up. And that's the easy way of looking at it. And it gives you a little bit of ease of mind knowing that all you have to do is maintain your sections and your dreadlocks will be well on their way. Now of course, it's always good to maintain the length of the dreadlocks as well so that you're not getting a bunch of clumping, which clumping is just the dreadlock becoming thicker than what it has to be. But then again, it's really up to you. If you want thick dreadlocks, then go for it. But if you don't maintain the shaft of the dreadlock, it will clump up and become a little bit thicker in some parts than others. But guys, this is the photo that really got it for me, that made it seem as though he had the same dreadlocks as Wiz Khalifa. I don't know, they kind of look similar to me. You guys let me know in the comment section down below. I feel like me personally, he does look like Wiz Khalifa. But I want to hear your guys' comments down below. Now I will say that they both have a full set of dreadlocks, which in my opinion is really cool considering that I'm actually getting a full set of dreadlocks right now. My first set of dreadlocks was actually a high top set, so it's just a whole different experience having a full set of dreads. But to tag along with that, they have roughly the same hair type. Wiz Khalifa might have a tighter curl pattern, but just by a little bit. But one thing I really like about a full set of dreadlocks is the way they lay down and the way they sit. With the full set of dreads, there's a little bit more volume, especially on the sides, which then allows for more volume on the top. Which volume is just another word of saying that it's more lifted up, I guess you could say. And if you guys know me, I really like the standing up process I really like the standing up stage of dreadlocks, and that's typically around the 3-inch to 6-inch length of dreadlocks. Now of course he's way beyond that, but there still is a little bit more volume considering that he has dreadlocks on the side of his head. But now that his dreadlocks are even longer, we're seeing him do more hairstyles. In this photo we see he has his 2-strand twist partnered with it being in a ponytail, and overall it just looks really cool. And this is one thing I tell everybody, which by looking at this photo I'm gonna call out a few things that are actually going to enhance your dreadlocks and take them from a 5 to like all the way to a 10 if you're grading them. The step number 1 would be to get a lineup or get a fade on your dreadlocks. Even if it's simply getting a little taper fade, the biggest thing for me is to make sure that you have a sharp lineup. And this is something that you can learn on your own, and I would actually highly encourage you to learn how to do your own lineup. And the reason I'm telling you that is because there's times to where you're going to an event and you don't have time to go to a barber, or you just simply don't want to sit there and wait in a line, or really the list can go on and on of reasons why you don't want to go get your hair cut by someone else. But there's so many benefits you have with actually doing it all yourself. And not only that, but you can learn how to do other people's hair as well and make money off of it. And you're benefiting yourself and others. But getting a fresh lineup is major key for making the dreadlocks look very appealing. Now, of course, the second thing is hairstyles. Explore different hairstyles that work for your hair length. I feel that with longer dreadlocks, it's best to do something like a 2-strand twist or braids. And with shorter dreadlocks, I would recommend trying bantu knots and possibly even cornrows with shorter dreadlocks. But there are so many things that you can explore to see what looks best with your dreadlocks, and you'd be surprised. So here's a better look at his 2-strand twist and how his sections are looking. Based on his sections, it looks as if he started out with a very maintained method because all of his sections are relatively the same size. And that's just a clear indication of him starting out his dreadlocks a traditional route, which is actually the same way we've seen Wiz Khalifa start his out, which leads me back to the point of him looking like Wiz Khalifa. Now, of course, like I said, you guys are probably gonna have a different opinion in the comment section, but I do wanna hear your opinions down below. I also wanna hear what you guys think about his dreadlocks, and also let me know down below who is your favorite, and also let me know down below who has your favorite set of dreadlocks. Since I did this video, I'm gonna be dropping a video on Wiz Khalifa really soon, so stay tuned for that. But if you do wanna make dreadlocks